Hi, I'm Vicki Clark, President of the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce, and you're watching South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux.
Welcome to South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. Thank you for joining us as we share information, tips, and techniques that can make your business and our business community more successful. Thank you to Stockton University for the opportunity to produce this show. In just a moment, we're going to talk with Vicki Clark. I've known Vicki for over 25 years. Vicki is the President and CEO of the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce, and it's a pleasure to welcome her to South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. Vicki, thanks for joining us today.
Joe, it's my pleasure to be here. Really,
yeah, this is a long time. This is a long time coming because I've been trying to get you as a guest, and I know it worked both ways. You're very busy, but that's not an excuse. But I'm so happy that even in this Zoom environment where we're filming and taping from home, it's really nice to have you here. So maybe for the people that might not know you, maybe you could take us back with your early involvement with the chamber, and then what led you to your current role as President and CEO of the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce.
Well, like I said, Joe, I think you'll be a little surprised to hear that I actually began my chamber career as a volunteer. I got married and moved here, and the neighbors of my in-laws' business, he was at the time the president of the chamber, which at that time we had an executive director. He was the volunteer president of the chamber, and he recruited me to volunteer at the golf tournament. And that was my introduction to the chamber, which eventually led to I came on board at the time as an administrative assistant. And I stayed in that role for a short period of time. And then I left. My husband and I were starting our family. And so I left the chamber. I never expected to be going back. But a couple years later, they called and asked me if I would be interested in the marketing and membership director's position. And that was my background. And so I came on board as the marketing and membership director, which eventually led to becoming the president of the chamber. So
that's great. It's I'm not surprised, but I did not know that you started as a volunteer, but I'm not surprised because now that I know you and I've known you for all these years, I know you're a get in there and get it done kind of person. So that's awesome. Maybe you could quickly just talk about what the chamber does as far as the role that it takes in the business community and what it does for businesses.
Well, everybody says, what does the Chamber of Commerce do? And it really is a little hard to describe. But I think if I had to say it in one sentence, we help businesses promote themselves and expand their business. It really depends on how much a business gets involved in the chamber and what they do, how they engage, and what programs and benefits that they take advantage of.
It's great. We're going to get into the membership and some of the people you work with in the next segment, but I wanted to ask you about just the different areas. We can talk and kind of set the tone for the next part of the interview. I know you do a lot with advocacy. I know you do a lot with events. I know you do a lot of unique programming, and you also keep the business community aware of what's going on right in Cape May, as well as the region and the state, and even sometimes the nation, how it affects the business. Are those the key components that you're working with right now and working on right now?
Right. I think advocacy, member engagement, education, those are really our, if you think about that three-legged stool, that's really what we do, what makes us unique in our area. Those are the things that we feel are most important to the business community. And advocacy, especially in this day and age, is so important to the business community because there's a lot happening on the legislative front. We don't have a PAC. That's not how we approach it. We feel that advocacy is really informing the business community of what issues are in front of them from a legislative perspective, both at the state and the federal level. So we simply inform and educate and provide member engagement opportunities for the business community.
I think that's great. If you could briefly spotlight one lesson that you've learned, one of the most important lessons you've learned as you've led the chamber as president and CEO, what would that be?
Um, Nothing today is going to be the same as it was yesterday.
Oh wow,
It,
that's gospel right there. We could put that on a we could put that in a book and sell it. That's good stuff. That's a great lesson. All right, we're going to take a quick break and show you how you can follow South Jersey Business on social media, and then we'll be right back with more talk with Vicki Clark, President and CEO of the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back to South Jersey Business and our conversation with Vicki Clark, President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce of Cape May County. Vicki, thanks again for being part of the show.
Glad to be with you.
Vicki, how do you define success?
Well, I think success in business is being happy with what you do and helping other people reach their own goals. It's kind of a cliche, but I really don't know how else to describe it.
Speaking of success, every time I turn around, someone's mentioning the good works that the chamber is doing, even during challenging times. I'm just curious, how do you keep the team motivated? How do you keep the board members engaged during these very challenging times when a lot of times things can disrupt their thinking and their time commitment? How do you just keep that going?
Well, to be very honest, the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce, like all chambers, we are a member-driven organization. We're a relationship-driven organization. And especially during COVID, I will say that it was the uplifting messages that our members continuously sent us, appreciating the work that we were doing, that kept recharging our batteries. And every day, sometimes many times a day, we just got so many encouraging messages from our members appreciating the work that we were doing on their behalf, bringing them important information, setting up webinars, having those informational sessions, our daily news updates, and that's what kept us going. So
Wow.
it's all about the relationship.
I was going to say, and that speaks a lot, and that might have answered another question I was going to ask you about the caliber of the board members and being able to keep them engaged. And I think you just did a really good job of answering that question, because that's the response you've been getting from those engaged. And I think that speaks volumes to the work you're doing. So it's no secret. I think I talked about it. I've known you for multiple decades now. And I've watched you not only build a successful chamber, but also build relationships. I've kind of modeled some of the stuff I do after you. I know flattery, imitation is a form of flattery. So I do imitate a lot of the work you do, and I learned from you. Thank you. But I also watched you build, amongst those relationships, I watched you build an amazing family unit. Now you're a grandmom. How do you balance, as someone as busy as you, with all the work side of it and then all the family stuff? How do you balance that to enjoy both?
Well, I have a wonderful husband and a great family. A son and two daughters, and they married very well. Uh, so I truly do give them the credit. I couldn't do what I do without a supportive husband and my children. But I also have had the great encouragement of my boards, and working in a culture that supports family. And that's all about Cape May County. Cape May County is a very family centered place. Most of our businesses are small family run businesses, and even those that aren't are the banking and the insurance companies whose customers are small family owned businesses. That's our culture here. And so I have had that support, both at home and at work. And but even with that, there have been sacrifices both at work and at home. And I don't know anybody who works that wouldn't say the same.
Yeah. Well, you do I'll be honest, you make it look easy. Despite the fact that there are challenges, what you've done over the course of your career, and you're not finished yet, you're far from finished yet. You've done an amazing job. So what we have coming up next, I hate to spring it on you, is we're going to put you to the test with the M4 big money question. Vicki, I want to thank you for being part of today's show.
Thank you, Joe. It's been my pleasure.
Up next, we're putting Vicki Clark, president of the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce, to the test with the M4 Big Money question right here on South Jersey Business. But first, a quick look at how you can check out past episodes of the show. As you are aware, management, marketing, money, and media are an essential part to running any business. And when you are running a countywide business membership organization, it takes talent and skill, and you need to know how to mix up all four M's. So it's time for the M4 Big Money question with today's featured guest, Vicki Clark, president of the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce. Vicki, are you ready?
I'm ready, Joe. Let's go.
All right, let's break them down. Talk to us about your management style.
Well, I can tell you more of what I'm not than what I am, and I am not a micromanager. Everybody at the chamber knows their job, and I leave them to it. We have a team of professionals, and we run a lot of events, and so or special projects. And I will say that everybody leads their project. All the rest of the staff supports each other. And so whatever project it is they have a team leader, and they give me direction as much as anything else. But at the end of the day, I'm responsible for, everything else. And so if a ball gets dropped, ultimately it's my responsibility. So
that's great. That's a good way to do it. You truly are a team. Okay, let's get to the second M. Traditional forms of marketing. We'll save the media for later, but the traditional forms of marketing. How do you get the word out about the chamber using more traditional forms?
Well, I will say that's where, if we have a weak link, that's where we struggle as an organization, because we're not able to budget as many marketing dollars to market ourselves as I would recommend that anybody else market for their own business, because we're all about promoting everybody else. But our marketing is through email marketing, digital marketing, occasionally some print or through public relations media outlets. But not as much as we would like, but it's primarily digital or social media.
That's great. So we're going to get to that in just a minute. But before we do, I mentioned it's a membership organization, and you were talking about limited dollars. How important is, and we might as well get right down to it, how important is money and membership dues to this organization? I mean, it's a big part of it, right?
Critically important. Before we can spend it, we have to make it. So we earn every dollar that we have through sponsorship, through our membership dues, and through our publications. It's basically that three-legged stool again. That's where we generate our dollars.
That's great. And I love that answer because it's truthful and it hits it exactly where it needs to be. That last time you alluded to it earlier, media, you have totally embraced these vehicles, but which ways do you use, and how do you use the social media right now that's exploding across the scene? How do you use it to the best of, to better the chamber?
Critically important to us. Email marketing is our best friend. So email marketing, social media, that's really where we are getting the word out about the chamber, trying to expand our network and, promote not just ourselves, but our members. So, and through doing that, we will bring in more new members.
Absolutely. You're doing a good job with it. So the final question would be, how important is it to balance all four M's to have a successful organization?
Well, it is a balance. You have to have that there is a magic mix, but and on any given day, one of those elms is going to rise to the top, and you're going to be chasing that elm. But if you're running a good, strong organization, you're going to have the right recipe that includes all four, and just keep working it every day, because if you are, then you're going to bring in those sponsorship dollars. If you are, then you're going to have that good social media following. It all works together.
Yeah, that's perfect. I want to thank you for sharing the answers to the M4 Big Money question today, Vicki.
Thanks, Joe.
So there you have it. Vicki Clark, president of the Cape May County Chamber's well-mixed answers to the M4 Big Money question. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. Vicki, we meet so many business owners and organization leaders that are involved in their community. Their organizations are involved in the community. Can you speak a little bit about the Chamber's community connections?
That's really one of the best parts of the job. Through they're members of the Chamber or just through networking, I have the opportunity to meet some great community leaders. And I've also had the opportunity to serve on some boards that have just really been life-changing. And if I could, I'd just like to talk for a moment about some of those. I have the pleasure of serving on the CASA Board of Directors, helping children in foster care, and also the pleasure of working on a special project with the Cape Regional Wellness Alliance. And our goal is to eliminate or at least reduce children who are suffering with adverse childhood experiences in Cape May County. That has truly been life-changing for me, and something I knew nothing about until I got involved with it. So those are just two of the most impactful for me. On a personal note, I've worked on the Lower Cape May Regional School Board, which has been, it was wonderful. I've missed it since I stepped away from that opportunity. But professionally, I've worked on the New Jersey Tourism Industry Association. Wonderful professional tourism colleagues there. So all of these things, interweave with my job at the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce. I meet wonderful people that help advance the goals and the missions of the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce. They've been impactful as we founded our own education foundation and help us achieve those goals there. And bringing speakers that can bring wonderful programming to the Chamber through things like our Women in Business Conference and our Leadership Cape May County program. So it all works together. It's all part of the job, and it just really is really one of the most wonderful things about what I do.
Well, after decades of doing what you do, we have a lot to unpack there, but I just want to break something down. The original things you started talking about, the individual commitment you've had to the community, there's definitely a theme there, and it speaks to your involvement with youth and the fact that families and youth are really the strength of the community. Is that what drew you to that immediately, that you thought you could make an impact and are making an impact as far as children in need, and then the educational component that can build stronger youth?
Well, yes, it is. I will say that, children are one of the most important things in the world to me. My family, my own family, helping other families. I love mentoring young adults. And anytime I have the opportunity to do that through my own job, I love doing that. And I think that when I say that, the youth of today are the future of Cape May County, it's not just a phrase. It is truly something that I deeply believe. And we all have to invest in our children because someday they are truly going to be taking care of us. They are our future. And we all need to invest in any way that we can in their future, because it is also our future. And they bring us great hope. And so I truly do enjoy any way that I can do that.
Vicky, on behalf of the entire community, I want to thank you for your not only your personal work, but the work you lead at the chamber in helping the community. I don't think anybody has taken more time or a more serious approach to what you have done, and you've done it consistently throughout your career. And I think that's going to continue. So the future looks bright because you're part of it. So thank you very much, Vicky. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. And now it's time to shine the spotlight on the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce. We're going to shed some light on the importance of business organizations with the help of Vicki Clark, the president of the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce. Vicki, thanks again for joining us on the spotlight. So let's get with the what. What is it that the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce does?
We promote business and help them promote themselves.
Oh, that's perfect. That's a great answer. That sounds like a lot of work, though. How do you get that done? What does it take to get that done? How do you get that done?
Well, we hold a lot of events to help businesses connect with other businesses, promoting themselves, and help them also find other businesses that provide the products and services that they need. So, it's not just about selling themselves, but it's also connecting with other businesses that provide products and services that they need. So it's just connecting businesses with each other. A lot of promotion going on.
But that I guess that speaks to the who, but you really do have a wide variety of who's that you serve, right? It's really, if you cut a knife down the middle of Cape May County and looked at it, you would see that you represent and work with all types of businesses, correct?
A lot of people, because tourism is the backbone of the economy in Cape May County. People oftentimes think that we are just promoting tourism, but really the hotels, motels, restaurants, attractions, that represents about half of the businesses that we that are members of our chamber. The other half of our members really represent the companies that provide those products and services. So the indirect businesses of the tourism industry, which are equally as important to the tourism economy.
Yeah, and you serve not only, the millions of visitors through that work you do, but also the businesses that support all those visitors. So that's great work. So I guess this last part of the question would be the why. And I might have to be a little reflective, but why do you do what you do?
Well, I never really envisioned myself doing this work. I wanted to work in marketing. And so certainly that's a big part of what we do at the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce. We're marketing businesses all the time. Marketing is a huge field and it looks different wherever you go. So it's very challenging work. We're marketing as in the tourism industry. We're marketing businesses though, in all different kinds of ways. And we're helping businesses through education and advocacy. So it's a very versatile job. And, that's great because you're doing something different every day.
And I always see a smile on your face, even through challenging times. So I know you're enjoying everything you do. Vicki, I want to thank you so much for sharing the spotlight and letting us know exactly what and how and who and why the chamber operates and operates so well. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe. It's been great to be with you.
That was today's spotlight, providing a clear view on how the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce serves our community. Welcome back. It's time for Pop Quiz. Let's take a look at the question and some possible answers. All right, so today's question for Pop Quiz is, what is coastal shift? Is it A, a shift in lifestyle? Well, encouraging a work-life balance without compromise sounds pretty good. How about living how you want and working where you want to at a shore or coastal community? Has potential. Let's look at B. A shift in workspace. Well, we all know during the pandemic, terms like work from home and work from anywhere became commonplace. If you can work from anywhere, why wouldn't you choose a location close to where you and perhaps millions of other people enjoy, like the coastline? Let's take a look at C. All right, the shift in the economy or an economic shift. So if you're creating new opportunities for businesses and the community to be able to thrive and share and work together, the impact of these efforts expands beyond the confines of the current makeup of the economy through the growth and the interest in the region, like the coastline communities. So there you go. That's economic shift. All right, let's look at D, letter D, shift in mindset. Okay, truly, I believe that it's hard to change anything without a shift in mindset. So your shift in mindset, you'd be hard pressed not to experience a shift in your mindset the closer you get to the coast or shoreline. Many of the coastal communities were founded and settled because of what people believed was a healthier environment. So if you had that healthy environment with healthy body, healthy mind, it's all part of coastal shift. So if we look at A, B, C, and D, they all make up coastal shift. So that would make our correct answer E, all of the above. So I hope we all learned something today about coastal shift. And that was today's pop quiz. Welcome back. The crew here at South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux appreciates the fact that many of you tune in week to week. From time to time, we receive viewers' questions, and we always do our best to answer each and every one of them that we receive. So it's time for Q&A. And here's this week's question. I am starting a new business on the boardwalk this season. How early should I begin my marketing and promotion of my business? That's a solid question, and not an uncommon question for a seasonal business. The simple answer is ready, set, go. As long as you have a signed lease with a start date, you can start right now. A suggestion would be walk the boards on the weekends prior to your business opening and introduce yourself to fellow business owners, even when the business is off the boardwalk. Join a local chamber and make sure you attend those meetings. Create a website and make sure you post to your social media. And those face-to-face exchanges that we talked about, make sure they're positive, along with the posts that you make. If you're viewed as an outgoing, positive person, that can only help your pre-opening brand and buzz about your business. Then, of course, keep that vibe going through your hiring of the employees that you may need, the opening of the store, the way you choose and set up your decor, and the work you do every day to make and keep your brand positive. So the very short answer is market early and market often. Always keep it positive and upbeat. I hope that helps answer your question, and we'll be right back. Well, that's the show. We had a solid business discussion with Vicki Clark, president of the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce, and even answered a viewer question. Once again, thank you to Stockton University and everyone that makes this program possible. Let's do it again next time. And until then, let's get growing, South Jersey. Thanks for watching.